Good morning, good morning, good morning. Beautiful people. Beautiful people. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, beautiful people. So I am coming to you this morning with a message due to a prophetic message that God gave to me. Okay. And the Spirit of the Lord wants me to say that your hidden enemies are now being revealed to you. Okay. And some of you guys, you don't even like, you've been going through so many things in your life and you didn't even understand why. Okay. And I'm saying this, I'm hearing 1 to 2 years. For the last 1 to 2 years, you've been going through a lot of difficulties in your life. I'm hearing mental anguish, emotional turmoil, far-fetched stories that you've been, thinking about, like, just, how you have like those crazy stories that kind of jump into your head and you're like, why would I think that? So what God revealed to me, and this is for my masculines and my feminines, okay? Y'all have exes, okay? You have exes. And some of y'all have family members that have been fixated on you for years. Okay. Now I'm gonna go into the exes first. Okay. Because this is deep. All right. Some of y'all have there's masculine and females. Okay. If you are a masculine, um, and you're a heterosexual masculine, it's a female. Okay. If you're a heterosexual female, it's a masculine. If you are a same sex, then it's going to be of the same sex. Okay. The sexuality is irrelevant here. Okay. So, and I'm going to tell you what he showed me, um, to tell me to back up what I'm about to tell you. So years ago, I was working in corporate America, right? And I was working with a major company, and I was deciding to leave there because it was pretty much done. I had reached as far as I was going to go there. Okay. And so I decided to leave Atlanta. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to leave Atlanta. I'm going to move away. And I had applied for a job in Charlotte, no, I'm sorry, Charleston, South Carolina, with a major Fortune 500 company who does real estate and property management across the United States. Okay. Um, they had properties all over the place. All right. And they were building a couple new ones, but they were looking for someone to work at their corporate office in Charleston. Okay. I applied for the job and I was going to fly into Charleston for the interview. Okay. I applied for the job. They called me back. We had a great phone interview. They were excited to meet me. And I was like, all right, great. I'm flying in on Thursday. I will be there Friday morning for the interview. Okay. Guys, when it comes to your career, y'all need to stop limiting yourself to where you are. Because the reason why I've had such a lucrative career is because I'm not scared to jump out of ponds and lakes and oceans. I'll go all over the place because I get bored. My skill set is very intricate when it comes to IT and accounting. Okay. So don't limit yourself, because sometimes you don't get the job that you want because you're looking in an area that can't appreciate your skill set. Okay. In a region or an area. You got to be willing to jump, make leaps, okay? Leaps and bounds. So I had booked my ticket to fly in on Thursday, and Wednesday they called me and they said, we decided, no, was it? Yeah, it was Wednesday. Wednesday they called me. They said, we decided we hired someone else. We decided to go with someone else. And I'm sitting here going, hold on, hold on. No, no, no. Not after that interview that I had with those three people. Like, it was amazing. So I'm like, you decided to go with someone else. And they were like, yes, we decided to fill the position with someone else. So I was like, okay, no problem. Back to the drawing board. Now, it just so happened that a week before I even applied for this position, the person that I was dating at the time, okay, I'm not going to use their real sun sign because I got enemies all over the place. Let's just say their sun sign was a Scorpio, okay? And so a week before I applied for this position, I had already decided I was going to leave. So I was like, this person came back into my life. I was like, it doesn't matter if they're coming back or not. I'm still leaving. Okay. I'm still going to pursue my dreams, my goals, and whatever, and I'll work it out anyway, whatever. So that day when I left work, I was I had called one of my friends, and she had, she pulled on it, and she said that it was a Scorpio who sabotaged my opportunity. And I said, okay, she said that this person had done spell work on it. So when the Scorpio picked me up from work, I said to him, did you sabotage my job opportunity? He said, no, why would I do that? I said, maybe it's because you don't want me to leave. And, I'm tired of playing these games with you, this back and forth and stuff. So are you sure you didn't sabotage my opportunity? He said, no, I would not do that. Okay. Listen, God is revealing to me now that it was not the person that I was with. It was an ex who was still obsessed over me and did not want me to have anything good in my life. This person has literally reached out to my exes. He is the same sign, the same sun sign, okay? He has reached out, okay, to my exes and people around me like a bitch, pardon my mouth, but I'm going to say it, like a punk, unhealed child who can't accept and take accountability for his actions. So he is literally like for over 10 years has literally been doing things fixated on my life to sabotage things in my life. And I'm not even going to lie to you. There are some men in my life that I've literally broken up with or who have broken up with me because they spoke to his weak ass and they believed everything he said, and he fed their head with demon words, okay? I told y'all that where I come from, it's a reason why I left there and I won't go back. And it's because of the occult. The occult has taken over Delaware and Pennsylvania like I don't know what. And I refuse. Okay. I'm not going to be a part of it. I don't want to be your member. Okay. I will not eat green eggs and ham. I will not eat them Sam I am. I don't care how y'all come at me. I don't want to be a member of your shit. I want you to leave me alone. That's what I really want. Okay? My gifts and my skill sets are meant for God. They are meant to help God's people. And the reason why God's people are going through so much oppression is because so many people have been gifted with gifts from God, but they have chosen to worship the devil and in exchange for money, sex, and anything that makes them feel good. That's the problem out here. So now we got prophets that are on Team Lucifer. And I'm not lying to you. Okay? We got prophets, people who are born to be prophets on Team Lucifer. We got people who are born to be pastors on Team Lucifer. People who are evangelists, but they're evangelists for Lucifer. They want to bring people into, oh, you could have whatever you want. You could do whatever you want. You could sleep whatever you want. Okay? These people are destroying or attempting, let me rephrase. They're attempting to destroy what God is trying to build. It's not going to happen anyway. But when I got this revelation, I was grabbing some groceries, and let me tell you something. I had an appointment yesterday. And when I was on the phone with her, okay, they were like, Sapphire, her exes are working so hard against her. And they were like, they're just working overtime. These are men who who they can't get over the fact that she don't want to deal with them anymore. Okay? Now, I've been having appointments since I opened up my schedule with the pay what you can, which I'm gonna keep going for right now. Okay. Um, since I opened up my schedule, every single woman I've met with has had a man that oppresses her. Okay. And he's hidden. He does not show himself. This is how these people move. They're cowards. They'll never show you to your face how much they hate you or really how much they love you. The fact is they're mad because you don't want them anymore. Y'all have evolved and grown beyond the childish mindsets and antics of these men and women. You don't want them anymore. You don't want to play these games anymore. And some of y'all don't realize when I tell them, I'm like, your ex is into spell work. They're like, oh no, he wasn't like that. I am trying to tell you, people change. People change their mind about spell work and attacking people and doing things that they never would do before when they really hate you. The more they hate you, the more the hate builds up and they can't get results because God is protecting you. They're like, okay, I'm going to go this route. I'm going to go that route. So please do not underestimate your enemies. God told me when he brought me on this path of being a prophet and he brought me to my apostle, he said God's message to me was, my people perish due to a lack of knowledge. Y'all have got to get up on y'all game because God is giving you signs left and right. And it's like you just don't want to see it. And then the world has you so turned against numerology and divination and signs and wonders. But if you go into the word, God gave us messages through signs and wonders. That's what he did. He gave us confirmation. But there's so many people out here that just don't want to see it, or they want to ignore it, or they want to act like it's not going on. But I am telling you, your enemies have been watching you. And you're like, oh, I haven't talked to that person in 10 years. I haven't dated that woman in 5 years. I don't even talk to this person anymore. But they still focus on you guys. They focus on you. They are hyper fixated on you. So to find out that an ex that I broke up with over 10 years ago, and this job opportunity was 5 years, what, 5 years ago? 5 years ago. 5 years ago, I broke up with this person 10 years ago. 5 years ago, this person was still, no, damn, it's longer than that. It's like 15 years. This person is still trying to do things to hinder my life. Why? Because I broke their heart. So now they're like, they're going to break my heart. I'm not going to have any love in my life. Every time I meet somebody, I'm going to do something to destroy her relationship because she broke my heart. So I'm going to break hers. Grow up. These people have a problem with healing and moving forward. They have a serious problem. And a lot of y'all, you've been experiencing blockages in your money and occasionally you get a cold and you can't even understand because it's hot outside. Why are you getting cold symptoms? Okay. Now I just lost 3 people off of here. I had 30 people in here and it went down to 27. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. That's because 3 of those people were people who literally are oppressors. They don't want to hear this. They don't want to hear this message because they're like, oh, she's sitting over there telling them about us. Yes, I am telling them about you because y'all need to go somewhere and heal yourselves. But I need God's people to open your eyes. When you were one of my clients, I told her it was her ex who was attacking her from years ago. This man is not, she has not dealt with this man in years. But you know what she sent me after the appointment? She said, as a matter of fact, Sapphire, I know you're right because last week I saw a license plate with his mother's last name on it. And she sent me a picture. Now, if you felt inclined to take a picture of that and hold on to it, come on now. God is giving you signs. God is trying to tell you something right now. Okay? Can't sleep at night and you wonder why. Maybe God is trying to tell you something. He's trying to tell you something. But you got to be willing to see the signs. You got to be willing to see the signs because people, the churches and some of these Christian doctrines that are run by Luciferian, and I know this for a fact, and I stand by it, and I even know the churches in Pennsylvania and Delaware that are Luciferian behind the scenes. I'm not going to say their names. It's not for me to reveal. It's for God to reveal. Okay? But I'm going to say this. And a lot of Luciferians sit inside the churches with everybody else. Okay? Open up your eyes because in the next I'm sorry, I'm getting the next 24 hours. I hear the Spirit of the Lord saying to me, in the next 24 hours, He is going to give you confirmation of who your enemy is. And some of y'all are going to see the name, or you're going to see the car that like theirs, or you're going to think you saw them. You're going to get confirmation. It's up to you to believe it. God never leaves you uncovered. He never leaves you without guidance. But you got to open up your eyes so that you can see the truth. And you got to believe it. What do they say? Believe it when you see it the first time. Okay? You got to believe what you're seeing. And some of y'all are going to be like, well, I haven't spoken to Tanisha in 10 years. Divine masculine, I'm telling you. Tanisha, the one whooping your ass with that spell work. She's the one causing issues with your finances. She's blocking your sales. She's messing with your career. She's doing all kinds of nonsense. Okay? And this message is specifically for those of y'all who feel that something is being done to hinder your progress movement forward. Okay? Now, please know, just because I use that name Tanisha, that does not mean that it's Tanisha, because I have a Tanisha in my client list. And I don't want her to think I'm talking about her, because it's not. I'm not talking about her. she's a doll. Okay, she's a doll. Um, and she is. She's a doll. Okay, but I need you to understand that God has been trying to show you who your enemies are, but you're just living life, and you're like, oh well, I guess it was just bad luck, or oh, I guess it wasn't meant for me. No, it was meant for you. So please understand that everything that your enemy does to try and sabotage you, the tables have turned. God literally showed me a table. And on one side of the table, it's three or how many people? Three or four people sitting over there. Five. It's five people. It's five people on the other side of the table. And they have plates of food in front of them. And then there's the collective sitting on the other side of the table. It's a big table. Big round table. And the collective sitting on the other side of the table. And we're watching them eat. And we're like, okay, I guess God doesn't want us to eat right now. That's cool. We're cool. We don't have any feelings about it. But all of a sudden, out of the blue, there's a hand that comes out of the sky and places his hand right in the middle of the table and turn the table. He turns the table. And by the time the plates reach the other side of the table, they are full with clean, fresh food, water, and everything. And it has more food on it than they had when it was on their side of the table. The tables are turning. God is turning the tables in your favor. And those people who were literally doing things to try and hinder things in your life, you're about to see them go through hell. Do you hear me? Y'all are going to have exes knocking at your door that are homeless. They're going to be calling. I don't have a place to stay. Hey, yeah, I'm going through something. And you'll be like, I'm so sorry to hear that. And they're like, yeah, man, my mom died. This person died. I'm going through this. I'm going through a divorce. I'm so sorry to hear that. Don't y'all let these people in your house. Don't you let these people back in your life. Don't let them back in your life. I promise you. You better pray on it. You better pray on it, because God is avenging you. Ding, my phone just ding. God is avenging you. Okay? He is avenging you for everything that they've done in your life. I don't care how small it was. I don't care how small it was. They had no right. Touch not my anointed. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, because I just experienced this. A lot of people be like, oh, touch not my anointed. God said, touch not my anointed. You have an anointing, but if you are not walking in it, you are not protected the same way. You only have half the protection, because yes, you have the anointment, but you're not walking in it. In order to have the whole protection, you better learn about the armor of God. In order to have the whole protection of God, you must walk, not only know your anointing, you must also walk in your anointing. Do you hear me? I am so tired of seeing people say, oh, touch not my anointing, and they're living a foul life. Stop it. Stop it. And then you wonder why you get one opportunity, but then you lose another. Okay? I came across a person who kept saying, I said to her, I said, listen, you need assistance to get healed, to let your body heal, because she got problems with her body and everything, right? And I said, so she said, well, I don't understand why I have to do all these things that you're telling me. And I said, because God is not a God of band-aids. God is a God of complete solutions. Okay? So she said, well, I just need a place to stay and God's going to heal it. Well, if God hasn't healed it in almost a year now, what makes you think he's going to heal it now? See, this is the problem. We want to spit the Bible and we want to apply it to ourselves, yet we are not in alignment to get all that it has to offer. We're not getting all of it. Okay? You keep getting a job, but you can't get a good relationship. You got a good relationship, but you got a horrible career. Okay? You have a good relationship, but your family is horrible. Your life is out of balance. Things are out of balance. It's not supposed to be imbalanced. It's not. Okay? And I think the biggest problem is you cannot, yes, we all have an anointing, but do you think, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it so real. All right? Because y'all know Christ teaching parables. So pay attention. All right? If you work at a corporation and your coworker comes to your boss and she's on time every day, her job is good, she's producing results, okay? And there's a promotion up. Now you're on time, you're not on time for work. You do produce results, but you're not on time for work. Okay? Who do you think they're going to choose? The person who's hitting all the markers or the person who's only hitting one of them? We get upset because you're like, well, God made sure I had a roof over my head. I'm not homeless, but I'm struggling with something to eat because there's something you're missing. You only got you're only doing part of your job. Okay? Oh, well, God blessed me with a new job, but but I don't have any place to live. That's because you only walking in part of your anointing. You better listen to me, because when you walk fully in your anointing and you know what it is and you're walking in it, God will make sure that you have everything that you need. You won't have to have he don't do half ass. Okay? So you give him half dedication, he's going to give you half blessings. And that's why you see people that are getting things in some areas and struggling in another. Y'all better listen to me. Okay? So this is the energy. That's like people who say, oh, I want a husband, but I'm still entertaining my ex. How you going to entertain your ex, but you're going to say that you want a husband? Make it make sense. Okay? Make it make sense. So you mean to tell me you're going to continue to sleep with another man and divine masculines? You're going to continue to sleep with another woman until God sends you a man or woman that's worthy to be your husband or wife? What makes you think that when that person comes, they want you if you can't even control your loins long enough to wait for the blessing that God has given to you? Make it make sense. Then you get mad because you're like, yeah, well, I haven't met anybody, but are you still entertaining those people? Then some people say to me, well, Sapphire, I stopped entertaining my exes. I stopped doing this, and I still haven't met anybody. Okay. Well, when is it coming? Well, let me explain this to you. Ding. Let me explain this to you. Last time God told you to be celibate and wait for your husband or wife, but you couldn't last long. You fell back into the spirit of temptation. So now that was what you fell back into temptation after 3 months, 2 months, 3 weeks. So now you've been waiting 2 months, 3 weeks, 3 months or whatever. And God's like, okay, yeah, see, last time you fell back into temptation after 3 months. So I'm kind of going to give you six months now. I want to see if you're serious. And some people can't make it. They don't make it to the 6 months. They make it to 4 or 5. And then they fall back into temptation again. And God said, well, dang, you know what? Every time you fall back into temptation, God is going to hold back your blessing even longer. I'm telling you what I know. Because for the longest time, I thought that no strings attached and, just have the Netflix and chill. I thought that shit was okay. But what I didn't realize was the more I was okay with that, the more I was showing God that I wasn't ready to be a wife. So I had to cut that lifestyle off. I had to let that go. Because see, wives know how to say no. If your husband is not sleeping with you, the wife will be like, I'm okay. I will wait for my husband. I will wait for my husband. He may be going through something mentally, emotionally, financially. Because if a man's money ain't right, he can't think straight. But I'm going to wait for my husband. Okay? So when I have told people that I have literally only been intimate with one person over years, that's because, and had major gaps in between of a year and sometimes more than 2 years, that's because I know it's worth it. My husband will be worth every bit of celibacy. Do you hear me? God ain't gonna send me no loser to break my celibacy. I promise you he won't. Okay? And I'm saying this to you, my men and my woman, we are not meant to be out here battling by ourselves. That's another reason that I need to talk to you again. Because your husband is your covering. Your wife is your shield. See, the husband covers the back, the wife takes the front. Okay? This is why most feminines are more spiritually in tune than the masculines. Because he may not see where the enemy is, but he can feel it. The females see into the spirit. So we say, baby, aim at 6 o'clock, aim at 9 o'clock. And your husband aims and takes down anything that's going to block that union. It is teamwork. And some of y'all are out here by yourselves, and because you're in union with God right now. God is like, I'm gonna stand in the gap until your husband comes. I'm gonna stand in the gap till your husband comes. Okay? So trust me, okay? Have a relationship with me. Get to know me. The same thing, divine masculine. Okay? God is like, I'm gonna stand with my hand on your shoulder, soldier, until your wife comes. To help you contain yourself until your wife comes. I remember when I was praying to God because I wanted to get pregnant by one of the men that I was in relationship with. I wanted a serious relationship. I wanted a solid commitment, but I wanted to get pregnant because I was having baby fever. And you know what God said to me? He said, you can't get pregnant by him. He spreads his seed all over the place. His seed is too weak to get you pregnant because he's screwing with all these other people, and his seed is spread too thin. Y'all better listen. Okay? He told me his seed is spread too thin. And I said, okay, I understand. He said, see, you don't need a man who spreads his seed all over the place. You need somebody who sees value in their seed, because their seed is what their legacy is. And if they seed the wrong garden, their legacy will be tainted or even destroyed with a wicked woman. And you don't want that. You do not want to be with a man who's seeding everybody's garden, and he don't care whether it's wicked, it's dirty. He don't care if it's infested. All right. It's got a whole bunch of bugs that's going to eat the seeds up before they break through the soil. If he don't care about where he putting his seed at, I don't need you having no children with him. Okay. Y'all better listen to me. Okay. So I say this because y'all, I feel like the next 24, 48 hours, y'all gonna be shocked. No, God, sorry, I'm sorry. He just corrected me again. He said 24 hours. Do not add any more time. Do not take any more time off. The next 24 hours, you are going to be shown who your enemy is. And for some of y'all, it is an ex, or it is somebody who you slept with that you are not supposed to be sleeping with. You are not supposed to be having frivolous sex with. You're not supposed to be doing no strings attached. You need to stop that. You need to stop that behavior. Because if you are truly trying to get where you're trying to go, you have got to live your life like a wife or husband ahead of time. Okay? So I say this to you because for some of you, you're going to be shocked to find out that some of these exes are in witchcraft. They are in witchcraft, and they are doing these things because honestly, God told them that they needed to change their lives and they need to get themselves together. But instead of doing what God said to get what they needed to have it in order to have it for good, they decided they were going to go into witchcraft, and they're going to use witchcraft. Let me tell you right now, any union that is brought together by a love candle or anything like that, I promise you it won't last. It won't last. Okay? There are men going through hell because they married based on lust and not based on love. There are men going through hell because they marry based on money and not on love. And there's women going through the same thing. It's going to come to an end, unfortunately. Okay? Now, does it mean it can't come back together? I can't speak on that because everybody's situation is completely different. Okay? But what I'm going to tell you is in the next 24 hours, the Most High says he is going to reveal to you who has been blocking your love life or who has been blocking your finances or your progress forward. Okay? He is going to show proof to that. All right? He's going to show you proof. When you see it, believe it the first time. Believe it the first time. Don't go, oh God, are you sure? Because I remember when I went to my apostle the first time and he tried to show me, he tried to tell me, he said, you know what your problem is? You question God. I got it in my prophecy. He said, you question God. You be like, God, is that you? Are you really the one? Are you really? Is that really you telling me that? He said, if you don't question him the first time, you be all right. He said, just trust him and know. Okay? And know. But the reason why some people can't trust God is because y'all don't spend enough time with him. I'm telling you the truth. You don't spend enough time with him. So when you get those messages, those revelation, that thought, that vision, that intuition, or you see signs, you don't trust it because you don't spend enough time with him. I convene with him a lot. And I started to realize the more I convene with him, and I'm not talking about just reading the Bible. I'm talking about just talking to the Lord. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, you got to read the Bible. They can quote the Bible inside out, up and down, page for page, but they cannot tell you how God is moving in their life. They cannot tell you the testimonials in their life because they don't even see the testimonials in their life. They don't even recognize the miracles. They don't. And you know, it's funny because when I read the New Testament and I read about Yeshua and I see that Christ went around and there were people who didn't even see the things that God was doing, he would get so irritated. Like y'all didn't realize that was the Father? Like, are you serious? Okay? Sometimes we pray for things and because we don't get them in the timeline that we expected to get them, when we get them, we forget that we prayed for them. But sometimes we forget that it takes God a certain amount of time to get certain things into alignment because on top of him getting things into alignment, you got to get into alignment too. And he's like, sometimes God is ready and you're not. And he's like, I'm telling you, you still messing with that person? I told you leave your mama and your daddy alone. I told you your mama is into some stuff you don't know about. Do you know how hard it was for me to accept that I had family members that were Luciferian? Do you know how hard that was for me to accept? When it was shown to me, I didn't want to believe it. These are people who had paid for halls and churches and dedicated money and everything. God showed me the signs and I was like, I just can't believe it. But you know what? You know what I did believe? When they started whooping my ass. When they all ganged up on me because I wouldn't join the team. Okay? The hidden agenda. I wouldn't join the team. I didn't want to be a part of their sex cults. I didn't want to be a part of, nah. And I'm going to tell you something else about those people that are in those sex cults. They deal with the same sex. So they're in those sex orgies and stuff. The women are sleeping with women, the men are sleeping with men, and they're all in the same room. I don't want, God showed me visions of what they do. God had to show me. He had to show me because I would not believe what I was being told. I was not believing any of the signs. And then when it came to exes and things that were taking place, God was trying to show me, and I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that somebody that I used to be so close to wanted me dead or wanted to hurt me or wanted my life to be bad or wanted me to go through struggle and all kinds of pain. I didn't want to believe that. Because you want to know why? Because I would never do that to them. We don't want to believe these things because we would never do that to someone else. We would never do that to someone else. But you have to understand that their mindset is not our mindset. I have literally had clients on the phone with me crying like, I don't know why they won't leave me alone. They're not like us, y'all. They're not. We don't spend our days thinking about how we're going to harm a person. We don't sit down and think, okay, what spell can I do to them now to sit them down, to shut them up, to make them broke, to make them not have. We don't do that. How many people can I call and bash their name and talk bad about them and get people to break up with them or stay away from we don't do that. We don't do stuff like that. We don't, it's not even our nature. Because when you're with God, when you rock with God, God will never put you in the spirit to do something like that to somebody. What did he say? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. You're not even supposed to do stuff like that. And God knows that if you go into that energy, it's so easy to fall into darkness, man. It's so easy to fall into those low vibrational energies. Why? Because we had to fight so hard to get out of them. We had to fight so hard to stop sleeping with our exes, to stop believing in relationships that weren't going to come to pass, to stop feeding into people who weren't for our greatest good. We had to fight so hard to break through the illusions and see the truth. We did. So God's like, no, I don't want you dabbling in that low vibrational anger, nasty energy ding, because if you go back there, you might get caught back up in that. And I don't want you to. I want you to keep your heart like me, like how I feel about you. Let me fight your battles, because I don't want you to get caught up on the battlefield and miss out on all our destiny and purpose for you. And this was very hard for me, because there was a time in my life where I was in the spiritual realm. I was armored up every night. I had people who came to me and said, Sapphire, you showed up in my dream. You had your armor on and your wings out. I am not an angel. But when you work for God, you are afforded a set of wings. Okay? Ding, you hear my phone ding, it's the truth. When you are a soldier on the other side, you are afforded a set of wings. I'm not an angel, but yes, just like Enoch, which is I'm a descendant of, I was allowed to have a set of wings that I can use for special battles. So when they saw me with the wings, they were like, what? I was like, no, you don't understand. They're not, I'm not an angel. That's just part of the weaponry on the other side in the spiritual realm. Okay? It's a privilege to be given that to use. All right? But they saw me in my armor. And here I was battling in the spiritual, but in the physical, I couldn't do those things out here. So my guard was always up and I was always in soldier mode. Now in this new season of my life, I have a different assignment. I'm not on the battlefield anymore in the spiritual. I'm healing you guys. I'm here to heal you of the afflictions and the pain and the hurt and the things that people have put you through. I want you to give it to me. Give it to me. Let me take it. That's my job. I want you to put that burden down. Stop carrying that yoke. You don't need it no more. I promise you, you don't need it. For so many years, just like me, a lot of y'all have grown. You have been the roses in the concrete. You have been the roses in the sidewalk. That one lonely rose that grew through the crack in the sidewalk. That one beautiful flower that wasn't surrounded by anybody else because you were surviving. But in this new season of your life, God is taking you from that crack in the sidewalk and he's moving you into a garden with other roses and other flowers and people just like you. And my job is to bring you into that, because a lot of y'all are traumatized. You don't trust anybody. You have terrible trust issues, justifiably so. My job is to bring you into a safety zone where you can put that down. Drop. It's like drop the sword, drop the bat. And you're like, Sapphire, but I'm so scared. I've been through so much. I trusted girlfriends and male friends, and they betrayed me. I trusted family members. They lied to me, had me make bad decisions that ruined things in my life. And I'm like, I hear you. I hear you. But this right here is your reprieve. This is your rest. You can put your sword down when you come in here. Okay? I don't want to tell people the name of my ministry. Not just yet. I will be announcing it soon, especially once we secure the building. But I'm going to tell you, it is a place of rest, refuge, and when you come through those doors, you don't have to worry about attack. And I can promise you right now, ain't no witches coming through the door of my church. Nah. Okay? Because we will discern it as soon as it comes. We got a lot of prophets that are going to be in our house. As soon as the witches walk on our property, no thank you. And I can hear them now. Oh, well, we have the right to. Yes, you do have the right to, but you know what? This is not a public organization. See, when you take money from the government to build your ministry, you can't discriminate. Did you know that? But see, my ministry is not being built with government money. It's being built with private money, private funds. So with that being the case, I don't have to let everybody through the door of my ministry. The government don't control shit in my ministry. Okay? The only thing they control is the status, my tax status. But as far as my money, where it comes from, ain't no grants thing. No grant money is making my ministry. That's why y'all wonder why the witches can sit in those churches and those places. They take money from the government. If the government have witches and warlocks running it and infiltrating it, and you take money right out the warlock and witch's hands, what do you think is going to happen? You're saying, well, I'm taking your money to run my ministry, so now they can come in your door. Okay, like vampires, you invite them in when you take their money. There ain't no money coming from, I'm not taking no government funds. That's why I'm so glad that God showed that to me. He said, wait on me. The problem with a lot of these ministries is they go out and get that brick and mortar too soon. They rush to go get it, and then you got to fight to keep it. That's not the way it's supposed to be. You should never have to fight to keep something that God gave to you. You hear me? So I say this to say, God is moving, and it's a new season. And I'm going to tell you, reach one, teach one. Every ministry that gets no funding from God is going to help build another ministry that will not need funding from God. We are on a new wave here. We are riding a brand new wave. And this wave, man needs to have it's funny how politicians will be so quick to say that that God has no place in the government. God has no place in the government. Religion and faith has no place in the government. But yet, don't y'all offer grant monies to churches? So if that's the case, then that should mean that y'all shouldn't be giving money to the churches either, right? I'm going to just keep it 100. How can it be that you want to give money to us and we're supposed to take money from you, but yet we're not supposed to have a say in your politics? That's ludicrous. It doesn't even make sense. So that's how some of these churches out here got infiltrated, because they took money and funds from the wrong people. Yep. And those places that took money from the wrong people were participating in Diddy parties and was having Diddy parties of their own. Okay? A lot goes on in these church basements that have been infiltrated. Okay? Yes, Lord. Okay? So I am just putting this out here because for some of y'all, you're going to get signs. You're going to see, again, you're going to get signs in the next 24 hours of the people who are purposely doing things to oppress you. And these people have purposely been doing things to keep you unhealed, just like them. If I can keep making her, for example, some of y'all got into relationships, right? Or you started dating someone. And then as soon as that person said or did something, it triggered you to remind you what you had been through with the past person. Or there was spell work that was done because you were dating people who did not believe in spell work and the occult and stuff. And they got hit with spell work. And then when they started acting or sounding, I dated someone that started acting like someone I knew before. And I was like, I could already see this. And you know what it was? This person had no covering. They didn't have a relationship with God. So the spell work that the person did over this man, it took over him. And I was like, nah. I said, this person is acting too much like the other person. And I knew that this person was being affected. I tried to tell them, you need to pray, you need to do this. He said, nah, I'm not, I don't pray to God. I'm my own God. I said, okay, well, good for you. Take care. Okay. I do understand the concept of my own God, but I do understand that every God is underneath another God. And we are living creatures that are underneath the living God, the creator. Okay. So that foolishness, yeah, good luck with that doctrine. I promise you, you're not going to see nothing good come out of people who be spitting that doctrine right there. Okay. That they don't need God. They're the only God they need. Okay. Good luck. Okay. So I just want 24 hours. The next 24 hours, you will get proof. And for some of you, you know what I'm talking about. You're going to see a name. You're going to see, I don't think it's just going to be a letter. That's too easy. Because I was asking God, I said, God, is it going to be a letter? I am not. Okay. I thought that was the initials of someone I knew. You're going to see more than one letter. It's not just going to be a letter. It could be initials of an ex or a family member. It could be a mother, father, any kind of family member, cousins. Some of y'all have cousins too that are working against you. Some of y'all have, and I have to say this because it's true. For my masculines, I'm picking up on same-sex look at that. Cousins, okay? Same-sex cousins, meaning that you have a masculine, if you're a man, you have a masculine cousin who has been trying to lead you to make bad decisions because he doesn't want you, because honestly, he can't find love. He's miserable or he can't find love. He makes you believe he's happy, but he's not. And he wants you to be just as miserable as him. And I also, for my masculines, you have a female cousin that's sexually attracted to you. Now, I'm not going into anything that happened when y'all were kids, but I'm going to tell you right now, you have a female cousin that is sexually attracted to you in a way that is unnatural. And if the family ever knew, like, it would be looked on really bad. Okay. For some of y'all, this is a full blood cousin. For others of y'all, this is somebody who's a partial cousin or something, or like married into the family or something. I don't know. Okay. Um, for my females, y'all have a female cousin who will tell you the opposite of what you should do because she doesn't want you to have something that she hasn't had yet. Okay. And this could be it could be a friend, but it could be a friend as well. These could be friends, cousins, because we consider cousins as friends. But you also have a masculine cousin who wants to have sex with you. Okay. And for some of y'all, I think you already had the idea. So I'm giving you confirmation right now. Okay. Because you were like, I just feel like a little odd when he comes around and he talks to me. Yes, because he is sexually attracted to you. Okay. Now, a lot of things are for some of y'all also. There's going to be revelations coming. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more, but we are in the book of Revelations. The fourth seal has broke and the fifth seal is about to break. Okay. By next year, I'm going to tell you, I can't even, okay. But what God is telling me is, I'm sorry, God, I lost my train of thought just a second. Oh, Revelation. Okay. He was saying he was going to reveal something else. He said this. Oh, bloodlines. Bloodlines. My God, bloodlines. Some of y'all got the wrong last name because your mama, your grandmama, or your great mama lied about who the father of her child was and let another man raise her child. These, that God said, my people perish due to a lack of knowledge. Some of y'all don't even know who you are. Some of y'all don't even know that your grandfather was not your grandfather. He was not the father of your mother, of your father or mother, and your mother or father had a different father, and she's carrying your parents are carrying your parent is carrying the name of a person that's not even their parent, and now that shit has trickled down. Okay, so some of y'all are carrying, like for me, I was carrying the name of a man that's not even my father. Okay, had my kids got my daughter has the last name of a man that's not even my biological father. Y'all better listen to me. Okay, I'm telling you what I know. All right. And so my whole bloodline got screwed up. I'm correcting it. I am correcting it this lifetime by the truth of who my father is coming out and everything being corrected and the names there's a lot in the name, y'all. We take on, let's think about it. I'm going to pay attention. Let me tell you this and I'm going to shut it down. If your mother is married to a man, your grandmother was married to a man. Now he stepped out on her and had kids with somebody, and that woman told her husband it was his kids and didn't tell the truth. And then your grandmother stepped out on your grandfather and she had a child, but she let your grandfather believe that it's his child. Look, that's karma. Okay. Now your mother or father is born and they in a family, and everybody in the family hates them. Why they hate my mama? Why they hate my daddy? I don't even understand that. Okay. But listen, roots pay a lot. Okay. Now you come in, you notice that in your life, you have different obstacles that other people don't have in theirs. You're like, I don't understand. You have taken the name of a karmic family. So you walking around with the last name, Jackson, but that's not your bloodline. Jackson's not your bloodline. The man your grandmama cheated with that should have been on your mother's birth certificate or your mother or father's birth certificate was I don't know, shoot, Simpson. So now you walking around with Jackson and carrying, and you're getting what? All the generational curses that the Jackson family have because you think you one of them. You dealing with all the obstacles that the Jackson family has. But then, but the Simpson family don't have these things on it because they don't have certain curses. Every family has different trials and tribulations. Okay. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about because you know it in your spirit. You know I'm not lying. You know in your spirit when something's not right. You can feel it. You could just feel it. Because my whole life I kept going, I don't think this is my mother or this is not my father. Something's not right here. I felt it. But every time I said something, somebody would tell me to shut up. Then I had family members that were told to come to me and dissuade me from looking into it further. Because families want to keep secrets. Secrets is why God's people is all over the place. Some of y'all are being raised as Gentiles when really you're children of the 12 tribes. I'm not lying. And some of y'all are being raised, some people are being raised in the 12 tribes when they're supposed to be raised as Gentiles. So these are people that are trying to get blessings, are literally looking for or getting blessings that they're not supposed to have. God is correcting all that. So family secrets about to fall out. Do you hear me? And some of y'all grandmamas, they might pass away when the secrets come out because they can't hide them no more. God is putting it out. Okay? And I'm gonna tell you another thing. Electronics is lying on people. Ancestry is lying on people. All right? Ancestry.com, all this stuff that we're doing is lying on people. It is. All right? But please understand that those systems can be infiltrated. Those systems can be infiltrated. You hear me? And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people also are like, well, I'm gonna do a test and figure this out. If you don't have the mama and the daddy to do the test, I'm telling you, it's not gonna be as conclusive as you think. And I'm saying that because I didn't have mine to do that. All right. So you said I heard about that sapphire ancestry. I'm telling you, God is trying to clear these bloodlines up. All right. And some of y'all are in wicked, some of y'all were born into wicked families. You weren't even supposed to be there. You weren't. The truth is coming out, and people gonna pass out when the truth comes out about who your daddy is, okay, who your mama was dealing with. It's coming out. And evil is gonna try and do everything they can to keep it from coming out. Because some of it is, I'm not gonna lie, some of it is incest. There are some half brothers. You wonder why sometimes it's not full incest. Your grandmama slept with somebody, so now your mom has a different dad, your uncle has a different dad. Now your grandfather think all the kids are his, but they not. But he know in his spirit they not, because he know that he was fooling around the time she got pregnant. But he gonna keep his mouth shut because he want to save face. He like, I don't want nobody to know she was sleeping around on me, because what kind of man would I be? Okay, cool, no problem. Sir, your ego and pride. Okay, we get it. Keeping up appearances, but keeping up appearances has God's whole kingdom all messed up. Okay, so now your sister is wants to sleep with the brother. The brother wants to sleep with the sister, and you can't understand why would my brother want to sleep with me, because you're not his full sister. You're not. And people are like not understanding that spirit. You got to understand, you got to go all the way back to slavery days, and you got to go back even in history in different cultures. English history, there was a lot of inbreeding in their own families. The DuPont family, the Rothschilds, they bred in their own family. They married their own cousins to keep money in the family. Okay, they jacked up their bloodlines. The same thing goes for some of y'all. There's a lot of things that are just not right in our families, and it's going to be corrected. It has to be corrected, because your kids are going to deal with generational curses and things that aren't even theirs. They're not theirs. And you've been dealing with things that aren't yours either. And let me tell you, when I took back my father's name, when I said I am taking my biological father's name, now the secret is out, my life started to change. Because it was a spiritual taking over that I told God. I know my lineage now. But do you know how hard I had to fight to find out the truth? Because so many people wanted to keep a lie. They wanted to keep a lie to save face or for money or what. Some of y'all got inheritance you haven't even gotten because you're in the wrong bloodline. Your daddy left a house or left a car to you or left money to you, but because your mother lied about you being who you are, you didn't get it. Truth is coming out. Some of y'all were fathered by your aunts or fathered by your aunts and uncles. I'm not lying to you. It's the truth. It's family secret time is coming out. Okay? So I just want to tell you this because God isn't doing this to hurt people. He needs the truth. Do you understand? If you read the Bible, it literally breaks down in the Bible, in several places, the lineage, and Enoch beget Methuselah. Methuselah beget Lamech. Lamech beget Moses. I mean Noah, right? Why do you think that he made detail to make sure that that was shared? Because your lineage is important. Your lineage is important. Some of y'all went through battles that you didn't even have to go through because they just wanted you to be like them. So they had to tear you down to get you to be like them. But you were never like them. You always had a heart that was different than them. You always acted different. Some of y'all got gifts that come from your real father, not from the father that they told you is your father. You better listen. Okay. Some of y'all could be artists or love music or musicians. That's because your real father, your real mother was into those. Your real father was into those things. Okay? Some of y'all were mistreated and abused because the man that raised you didn't really want to raise you. Or he found out later that you weren't his and he mistreated you. You want to know why your mama was a black sheep? Because your grandfather knew that she wasn't his. But he wanted to save face, so he stayed in it. He didn't say nothing, but he mistreated the children. Sometimes we need to know the truth. Okay? The truth shall set us free. All right? So I love you guys. I hope that just this message gives you some peace. But no, the tables are turning, y'all. And your life is about to change. All of y'all. I'm not lying. It's time. You've been through enough. Haven't you been through enough? Aren't you tired? These people are about to get the consequences that they tried to put on you. All those spells they threw, some of y'all didn't even do return to senders, and this shit is still going back. It's still going back. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, when we went through our seasons of lack, of not having a job or struggling with money, we handled it gracefully, didn't we? We worked with the best that we had. We stretched our dollar the best we could. Well, now those people are going to go through that same season, and they don't get to sit at your table. They're going to call you up and give you their sob story. But where were they where you were when you were going through what you were going through? Okay? Like real talk. All right? So now, yes, you said, how can I get a reading on my mother's? Yes, you can get a reading on your lineage. Yes, I can tell you the secrets of your bloodline. You damn right I can. I've had many people come to me but let me tell you, when they come to me, it's because God wants to correct it. He wants to correct it. He wants you to have all your blessings. Sometimes our mothers go through certain obligations. Recently I had somebody who wanted love in her life, and I said, you can't have it until we fix this. We got to fix this. And I said, it's not easy, but I'm going to walk you through it because I'm a child of this. So I'm going to walk you through it. I have no judgment for you. I have no judgment for anybody else. I understand the times. Things get hard. Okay? Things get hard. Things get confused. I'm not here to judge anybody. If your grandmama was out there, so what? Look, that's life. She had to learn just like everybody else. But we got to get our lineage straight, man. We got to get our lineage straight. And sometimes it's not even about telling everybody. Sometimes it's about just you knowing who you are. I might go to my mom and say, "Hey, is my father my father?" She might lie and say no. But I know that God told me that she's lying. So you know what? I don't need her to tell the truth. God told me the truth. I can walk with that. I can make the changes I need to make in my life. If I need to find out who my father is, I'll go find it. I found it. I sure did. I kept on digging. I talked to family members and I talked to people, and the shit came out. Okay? It took me a minute. It took me a couple of years, which is why I said you can't rush it, because God gives you pieces a little bit at a time. And for me, I was lucky because my father's spirit spoke to me. He called me his little coffee bean. I love my father. Okay. I love the father that raised me too. I adore him greatly. Okay. But the truth needs to be coming out, y'all. Y'all need to know who you are. Because I'm gonna tell you, there's certain bondages that were broken off of me once I knew who I was. And it just gives you a whole new lease on life. And then you can say, no, I'm not accepting this from this person's bloodline. I'm disconnected from that bloodline spiritually, and I'm gonna let God show me who I belong to. And he will. You'll get the truth. He always brings the truth. Took a couple years, but he brought everything to the light so that I could fight for what was meant for me and what my father left for me. Okay? And some of these people loved y'all so much. I have another person who found out that her half uncle is her family member. And guess what? He left something for her. People in the family didn't understand, well, why he leaving that for his niece? Because it was really his daughter and he wanted her to have it. And it was stolen from her, and her kids are going to get it back in this lifetime. Okay? Thus saith the Spirit of the Lord. All right? Yes. All right? I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. I'm always here for your greatest good and for your growth. But this is your season. This is your season for grace, for favor. This is your season to reap what you have sown. Okay? I love you. Bye.